Good morning. I just ordered some pizza from my local pizza delivery place, and it was really good. It was a good choice. But now I actually don't know, now that I've eaten a few pieces, how much pizza do I have left? I'm trying to think if I can represent that as a fraction. The thing is, I know that I have more than one pizza, but I also know that I have less than two pizzas. And everything that we've done so far has not prepared me to represent that as a fraction. So I think we're going to have to learn a few new things. But before we do, I just want to show you exactly what the situation is. So let's take a look at how much pizza I have left. So as you can see, I have these two pizza boxes. But how much pizza do I actually have? How many pizzas do I have? Well, if we open up the first box, you can see I have one full pizza. But if we open up the second box here, you see that the second box does not have a full pizza. So I know that I have more than one pizza, but I also know that I have less than two pizzas. More than one pizza, less than two pizzas. So it looks like there's a fraction involved, but what fraction is it? To figure that out, we first need to understand how mixed fractions work. Mixed fractions are used in situations where the number that you're representing is more than one, but not a whole number. What do I mean by that? Well, let's look at some pizza examples. So, we've got two sets of pizzas over here. Let's just take a look at the pizzas at the top. Okay, there are two whole pizzas and a little bit more. Two whole pizzas at the top and a little bit more. I'm talking about this set over here, right? How do I represent that? Let's start with the two. That part's simple enough. There are two whole pizzas. Now that we've represented the whole, now we can represent the parts, and the parts have to do with the fractions. So that's when we start drawing our fraction line. Here we go. That part is divided into 4 equal pieces. Actually, all of the wholes are divided into 4 equal pieces, just to help us understand it a little bit better. So it's divided into 4 equal pieces, so let's put 4 as the denominator. There it is. And then, how many pizzas are left uneaten in that partially eaten pizza? Well, there's just one piece left, so one piece, that's the numerator. And that's as easy as it is to make a mixed fraction. You've got your whole, 2 whole pizzas, and you've got your part, 1/4 or 1/4 of a pizza. So you would say that as 2 and 1/4. Well, that looks delicious, so I'm going to eat it right now. Nom 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 nom. Well, I'm still a little bit hungry, so let's take a look at the pizzas on the bottom here. First, we're going to count the number of whole pizzas. How many whole pizzas are there? Well, I see 3. 3 whole pizzas, 1, 2, 3, so we'll put 3 for the wholes. Okay, and then what about the parts? What are we going to represent as the fraction? Well, in that last plate there, we see that the pizza was divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. And for whatever reason, that's usually what a pizza is divided into. I don't know why. Ask the pizza people. Okay, let's make our fraction. So draw the fraction line. And as I said, the pizza was divided into 6 equal pieces. That's our denominator. How many pizzas are left? Well, there are 2 pieces left. So 2/6. And the whole mixed fraction is 3 2/6. Looks delicious. Let's eat it. Nom 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 nom. Well, now it's your turn to calculate the fractions yourself. I have to say I was a little bit sad that school got closed because I wanted to share with you some of my favorite springtime treats from the Jewish holidays that I celebrate. The ones at the top are from a holiday called Purim, and they're called Hamantaschen. And the ones on the bottom are from a holiday called Passover, which usually happens at the same time as Easter, and they're called matzah. Anyways, I don't get to share them with you, and I'm very sad about that, but this is what happens when there's a pandemic, so I'm going to share pictures of them instead. So I want you to start with the ones on the top, and then do the ones on the bottom. You should press pause, and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Again, the question is, what is the mixed fraction for the pictures? Welcome back. Okay, let's see if you were right. Again, we're starting with the Hamantaschen on the top. How many full Hamantaschen are there? How many whole Hamantaschen are there? I'm going to count them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 wholes, so we're going to put the number 4. Now we're going to deal with the parts, and since we're dealing with parts, we're dealing with fractions, and when we're dealing with fractions, we need our fraction line. Whoop. Now, it looks like this is divided into 3 equal pieces, or it was before I ate part of it. And so we're going to put 3 as the denominator. And then how many pieces are left? Well, it looks like there are 2 pieces left, so we'll put 2 as a numerator. So I hope that's what you got for your mixed fraction, 4 2/3. And as I said, I wish I could share these with you, but I can't, so I'm going to eat them all. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, let's take a look at the matzah on the bottom. Matzah, not quite as appetizing as Hamantaschen. Hamantaschen are sweet and have some sort of delicious filling, whether it's apricot or poppy seed. Matzah is just a very dry cracker with no salt or oil added to it. Yeah. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, or behind myself, or aside from myself. Let's get back to the math. Of course, we first have to count how many holes there are, and so here we go. How many whole matzah are there? 1, 2, 3. So we should put 3. And then we're going to deal with the parts, and we're doing the parts, we're dealing with fractions, and when we deal with fractions, we need a fraction line. There it is. It looks like it was divided into 8 pieces. I'm just going to double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it was divided into 8 equal pieces, but some of it's missing. So how many are left? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was divided into 8 equal pieces. 5 are left. 3 5/8. Well, even though matzah isn't quite as delicious as Hamantaschen, you can't eat it, so I'm going to eat it anyways. Nom 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 nom. Looks like I've eaten up all the food, so we're just going to have to deal with colored-in slices of circles from now on. So, now that I've given you pictures and asked you to figure out what the fraction is, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to give you the fraction, and then I'm going to ask you to draw it as a picture. So here's our mixed fraction. It's 3 1/4, or 3 1/4. And so the question is, how do we color that in? Well, let's color in the holes first. So how many whole circles should we color in? Looks like 3. So let's color in 3 whole circles. Excellent. Now we can deal with the fraction part. I see it says 1/4 or 1/4, which means that the circle should be divided into 4, and it already is, isn't that handy? And 1 piece should be colored in. So let's color in that 1 piece. And that's just as easy as it is to make a mixed fraction as a picture. I'm going to give you one more example, and then I'm going to ask you to do your own. Now, what if I try to trick you? What if I try to give you more circles than you probably need? Well, you can still figure it out because all you need to do is count the holes and the parts. Let's start with the holes. There are 2 whole circles colored in, so let's color in 2 whole circles. There we go. And now we can deal with the fraction part. It says that the circle is divided into 4 pieces, and 3 of them are colored in. So all we need to do is color in 3 pieces. So let's do that. And the rest of it is unnecessary. We don't need to color in the rest of the circles because they are not relevant to our mixed fraction. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to give you 2 mixed fractions, and I'm going to ask you to draw them on a piece of paper or something like that, and then check your answers by checking the screen. Try drawing these 2 yourself. Let's start with the one on the top, then do the one on the bottom. So press pause, and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. Welcome back. Let's look at the first one, the one on the top. It says 3 1/8. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, how many circles do I actually have to draw? Well, we need to have at least 3 whole circles, so let's draw those. And then we need to draw one more circle to represent the fraction bit, so let's do that. Okay, now we're set up. And then the next part we have to ask is, how many pieces do we need to divide the circle into? How many equal pieces? Well, looking at the denominator, it says 8. So we need to divide it into eighths. How do you divide something into 8? Well, let's start by dividing it into 4. And we know that 8 is just twice 4, right? 8 is just the double amount of 4. So if we just divide each of those 4 segments up into 2 more segments, we should have 8 segments. Let's give it a try. Awesome, it worked. So now we can just apply that to the rest of the circles. And now it's time to start coloring. So we color our wholes first, and then we color the last fraction bit. The whole amounts is 3 circles, so let's color in 3 circles. And then we need to color in the fraction bit. And we've already divided it up, so we just need to look at the numerator now. And it is 1. So we color in 1 of the eighths. Done. 3 and 1/8 are colored in. Is that what you got when you drew it? If so, congratulations. If not, you have another opportunity to do the second one. Let's check the second one. It says 2 and 3/5. 2 and 3/5. So again, the first question is, how many circles do we need to draw? Well, 2 whole circles. And then we need to draw 1 extra circle to represent the fraction bit. There we go. Next question, how do we divide this up? Dividing up a circle into fifths is a little bit tricky. The way that I like to think of it is it's like a stick man without a head. Or maybe the circle is the head and the head has fallen off, or I don't know. Let's not think about that. It's disturbing. Let's think about fractions instead. So we need to divide it into fifths. So we're drawing it like a stick man without a head. So first draw the neck. And then we need to draw the hands. 1 hand, 2 hands. And then we need to draw the legs. 1 leg, 2 legs. And then it is divided into fifths. And let's apply that to the other circles. Ta-da! Next question, what do we color in? First, start looking at the wholes. There are 2 whole circles colored in. So we're going to color in those 2 whole circles. And then we need to ask ourselves, what about the fraction bit? Well, it's divided into 5 pieces, and 3 of them are colored in. So let's color in those 3. There we go. 2 and 3/5. I hope you got those right. If you did, congratulations, because now we're going to go back to the pizza and try and figure out how much pizza I actually have. So now that I know how mixed fractions work, I can try and figure out what the mixed fraction is in this case. I know I have 1 whole pizza here, so that's 1. And then that's the whole part. And then what about the fraction part? Well, if I look at this pizza over here, I need to figure out how many pieces it was divided into. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can see based on the grease outline over here that there are 2 pieces missing. So 5, 6. So I've got a whole, and then I've got a pizza with a denominator of 6. And then how many pieces are left? How many pieces did I not eat on this partially eaten pizza? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1 and 4/6. And that's my mixed fraction for the pizza. Now that I've figured out how much pizza I have, it's time for you to apply the math skills for your own questions. Check the Google Classroom for the details on what I want you to do, and then enjoy your math while I start putting this pizza away for tomorrow.